There's so much love to consider, but nobody's home, so it stays where I'm at. And so I've always loved being turned on to good music that I might have never found otherwise on my own. I can still name whoever introduced me to a lot of my favorite bands to this day. Sometimes it was a friend, sometimes a DJ on a local radio station. Norman Rankus, a new kid in town from New Jersey, hooked us up with 10 Years After, the James Gang, and Led Zeppelin 1, going way back. And say one Saturday morning, my friend Albert and I heard the Kinks' 1970 hit Lola separately, but at the same time on KQV-FM from Pittsburgh. My phone rang. I heard, hello? No hello. He began with, did you hear that? Yeah, I did. I remember I was riding with my mother the first time I heard Hey Jude in my dad's pickup truck. I heard Badge on my way to the orthodontist as a 15-year-old kid, maybe 14. At the record store, I heard Knife's Edge first time, ELP, killer song. Yardbird Shapes of Things, heard it on the radio a lot. It just affected me, and I still listen to them this day. And of course, in February of '64, All My Lovin'. Anybody feel that way about songs now? I suppose some people do, but I'm not sure those memories will hit as strongly as the impact of Glass Harp's Can You See Me for the first time, or Trygesis member JG's gorgeous E minor finger-picking gem. But I hope so. Everybody's different. Well, remembering first times is one of the best things about growing older. Use it. I think a lot of us have some favorite songs that are underappreciated by the general public, but in that way, it's kind of like they're more ours privately. Neil Young has at least 3 masterpieces that few people know. I've Been Waiting for You is a perfect song from his first album. Ride My Llama, Will to Love. David Bowie, same thing. Letter to Hermione and Lady Grinning Soul are my 2 favorite songs of his. A lot of people have heard the second one, I guess, but very few the first. And that's wrong. It's a great song. The Kinks have I'm Not Like Everybody Else, was not on an album originally. It was a B-side to Sunny Afternoon, so it did sell a lot, but it was the B-side. And then there was Shangri-La, a later piece. Great. And David Crosby always had some obscurities that are fantastic. Homeward Through the Haze, Compass, Delta, just gorgeous. And I'm not looking for the hit single, but they're just beautiful pieces of music. Jeff Beck has very strange songs, but they're classic. Where Were You from Guitar Shop. There's No Other Me, and Love is Green. Jody from the early Jeff Beck group. Not the Rod Stewart version, but the next lineup. The Motels have 2 great songs on an album, had a bunch of hit singles, but these weren't singles, and they're better than the singles if you ask me. Change My Mind, good song, and Mission of Mercy. The Bangles, their bass player, I think she only wrote 1 or 2 songs, but one of them is called Following, and it's my favorite song on the Different Light album. Nick Hayward used to be the lead singer of Haircut 100, and I guess they've reformed. Anyway, his solo work, he has a song called Kite that's totally Beatle-worthy. The Kick of Love, The Day It Rained Forever. So I'm a big Nick Hayward fan. He's definitely underrated and overlooked. Manassas, Stephen Still's masterpiece band, besides Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, had Both of Us, Move Around, The Treasure, among many others. Great album. Second album, not as good. And the third album was Bits and Pieces. Actually, it's better than the second album. Lauren Nero had a song called Roll of the Ocean on several albums, but the Live at the Bottom Line version just has a magic to it that none of the others do. So anyway, it's kind of nice to have favorites that are mostly your own versus everybody's favorite. So think about your own.
Okay, that was great. That was Swift, giving a couple of tips and sharing some stories. You know, that was he's always got something interesting to say when it comes to music. He's got a great knowledge of the history of rock and roll music. So I wanted to mention some news that we've had that's coming up. So if you've been following our newsletter, you know that we've been shooting a video for our next single written by Swift called On Its Way to You. Now we shot it live twice, and neither time have I been happy with it. One time my chip on the main camera crashed when I tried to transfer it. And last week we shot it again, and it was okay. A couple of minor problems. Swift's guitar was a little distorted, and this is all my fault. I'm not blaming anybody besides me. Swift's guitar was a little distorted, and I need to, this week, we're going to do it again Tuesday, and I need to make sure it's not distorted. And JG's guitar was a little muddy. Again, that was my fault. I should have monitored it better. And the lighting was a little bit off. Swift's key light from the shoot 2 weeks ago to last week's shoot, the light got moved, and I didn't notice it until afterwards, and it was not hitting him properly. And then the light that was on Kevin was actually hitting Swift, has to be his left hand. So because I moved the light during the week and I forgot to put it back where it was supposed to go. So all my fault. So we're going to redo that. And what it made me think of is how, you know, I spent 40 years almost in New York City working in the TV production business, and I was lucky to work with some of the best people in the business. And if you've watched TV ever in the last 40 years, you've probably seen the work of a lot of the people that I worked with, and they're, you know, amazing professionals. They just knew they were so good at their jobs. And you know, so when I come here back to Salem and I try to do these videos for our band, and it makes me really appreciate how good they were and how nice it is to have a budget to hire all these people. So, you know, I'm doing the lighting, the audio, the video, and I'm sitting in trying to record the music, actually play the music. And, you know, when you're on a real shoot with a real budget, you've got a director of photography who's maybe, you know, deciding where the lighting should go. You've got grips and gaffers hanging those lights, moving the lights. You've got electricians, you've got audio engineers making sure the sound's perfect. You've got video engineers making sure the video levels are correct. You've got makeup artists. I don't think makeup can help me much, but it helped. It helps in a lot of cases. So when you have all these professionals, it makes it so much easier. So when I'm doing it myself, you know, we had to do it, this will be our third time. Well, finally, I might get it right on the third time. And still, it's going to be amateurish, I know that. But it's not about the video, it's about the song. And if the song's good, you know, everything else is kind of secondary. And I think the song, On Its Way to You, is really good. I mean, I've loved this song since the first time I heard it. And I kept, insisting is the right word, but I wanted Swift to include this on our first album because it's just one of my favorites that he has ever written. He's gotten a ton more that are really good too, so I can't wait till we get to produce those and put them out there. So anyway, that was why we're doing this video again this week, and hopefully next week's newsletter, the video will be perfect and you'll get to see a nice video. And it's going to be, we're going to release 2 singles. One will be the live version of On Its Way to You that we're going to shoot on Tuesday, and also the studio version of On Its Way to You, which you'll hear at the end of this video. And then I wanted to do a little quick reminiscing of a couple of stories, because we talked about all these crew members and how they make the shoots, you know, the video looks so good. Well, it's the talent that's on camera that really benefits, because our job is to make them look good. You know, it's like Vidal Sassoon said, you know, if you don't look good, I don't look good. And ironically, I did do a shoot with Vidal Sassoon once, a commercial. So anyway, that's another story for another time. But I do have a story about working with Walter Cronkite. We were at Bloomberg News shooting a public service announcement for the National Park Service. It was a 30-second commercial. And they handed me the script, and I loaded it into the teleprompter, and I sort of rolled through it, scrolled through it to see there were no typos in, and spaced right, and all that kind of stuff you do. Thinking to myself, this is not a very good script. It's kind of bland. So anyway, it's not my job to criticize. I didn't say anything, of course. So Walter Cronkite comes in, sits in the chair. He reads through it to himself. I sort of just scroll through it. He kind of mumbles it, and I'm listening. Then he goes, okay, I'm ready to record. So we rolled cameras, and then he made that script sound like $1 million. He just crushed it. It was amazing how a delivery can make what sounds like to me, it was a so-so script. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I don't know how he did it, but I think after all those years in TV, he probably got pretty good at delivering speeches off the teleprompter. But you know, it's a real art. He was a master. So the shoot ends. This was 2009 or 2008. He died not long after this video. But what struck me about him was that at the end of the shoot, he went to each and every member in the crew, shook their hand and said thank you. I thought that was pretty impressive. I mean, that was amazing. He was one of my, he's a hero, but you know, I certainly grew up in the 60s watching him on the news every night. We always watched Walter Cronkite, evening news, and had dinner. So that was, so to see him in person, that was kind of I won't say it's a dream come true, but it was certainly a highlight of my career. And then, you know, rewind 10 or 15 years, I was in Las Vegas at dinner with a client, and my client knew Chip Cronkite, which is Walter's son. And Chip truly was a chip off the old block. We had dinner, and he was the nicest man. He was so friendly, he was polite, he was engaging, he was unassuming. And I thought, yeah, well, that makes sense. He's just like his father. You know, what you saw on TV with Walter Cronkite, that's just the way he was in person. It was somehow his personality came through on TV, and it was what he was in real life. So I always appreciate that about Walter Cronkite and his son Chip. And then one more quick story. So this has already been 8 minutes long here. I used to do a lot of work for Channel 13 in New York City, the public TV station, WNET. We did a lot of the pledge drives, tried to raise money for the station. You know, people would donate, and they would get a CD or a video in the mail for their donate contribution, maybe a tote bag. So one night we're doing a pledge drive, and we're doing the Mamas and the Papas is the giveaway that night. And Michelle Phillips was in the studio. Of course, she was in the Mamas and the Papas, the singer. And when I was a kid, back in the 60s, I had probably like a lot of young guys, I had a major crush on Michelle Phillips because I'd see her on TV. So she was just, always looking great. So she does the pledge drive, and I do my job and whatever. Show's over. Well, she comes back into the control room where I was sitting with about 10 or 15 other crew members on the producers and directors and graphics people and the technical directors and the script writers and all that. Well, she comes in and she says thank you to everyone and shakes everyone's hand and thanks them personally. And for me, it was kind of a surreal moment. Growing up, having seen her on TV, and then to be face to face with her, like 2 feet away, and she's telling me thank you for the job I did. I thought that was really pretty impressive. So I was always a big Michelle Phillips fan, and I became an even bigger one after that. So that's all my reminiscence. So I'm going to leave you now with Swift's song, the studio version, On Its Way to You.
There's so much love to consider, but nobody's home, so it stays where I'm at. And so much love to deliver, it's better to give than to live without that. It's already on its way to you. I noticed you and right away love grew. Listen in the night to the open chatter, hear it and feel how the mood makes a song. I'm not satisfied waiting at the bottom of the ladder. I'm going up and I'll take you along. It's already on its way to you. I fell for you and right away love grew. I don't want to leave it like that. I want to love you wherever you're at. I don't want to leave it like that. I want to love you wherever I'm at. I don't know if I can make you laugh forever. I'm not a performer in a circus of love. There's too much acrobatic talking. I'm gonna push if the world's gonna shove. It's already on its way to you. I noticed you and right away love grew. It's already on its way to you. I fell for you and right away love grew. On its way to you.